we're on the brink of needing to declare a climate emergency.
Let's see what John Kerry's all about, because my favorite memory of John Kerry was that time when he was at some congressional committee talking about climate change, and he'd gone there on a private jet, and it was his wife's private jet.
Never owned or
I personally,
your family? By your family?
Personally, yes. My wife owned a plane, and she sold the plane.
You flew on that plane?
Not in a number of years, but I have flown on it, sure.
And he tried to pretend that, what, wife, private jet? It'd be pretty ridiculous if I came to a congressional committee and on a private jet. Well, did you come on a private jet? I don't own a private jet. Does your wife own a private jet? Yes. Well, okay. No, she does own a private jet.
When we are asking Americans to make serious sacrifices as we transition for the common good, and your family and or yourself are flying around on private jets, that smacks of hypocrisy. It actually hurts your cause.
I do not fly on a private jet. I do not fly. I fly commercially.
Have you flown on a private jet in a personal or official capacity since you've taken this position?
Possibly once.
All right, let's have a look at John Kerry and what John Kerry's saying.
So I think, personally, we're on the brink of needing to declare a climate emergency, which is what we really have.
Now, if we were to declare a climate emergency, that would certainly give us the ability to, I don't know, tax people, lock people in their homes, limit their air flights. I always travel commercially, by the way. I don't know what that little tiny jet is my wife flies around in. I thought that was a mouse jet for mouses. Now, in this climate emergency, all of you guys are going to have to stay in your houses and do as you're told unless you can pay taxes. It'll be a bit like the pandemic, where really wealthy people were able to bypass the regulations and restrictions that were crippling to ordinary people. In fact, you'll also remember that there was a massive wealth transfer during that period. So while we were like, oh, we're in a crisis, oh, it's a health crisis, some of the world's richest people were getting richer and richer. And some of the most powerful institutions in the world were becoming more and more powerful. Just want me to list some? Pfizer, there's an institution that did pretty well. On big tech, Meta, they did pretty well out of the pandemic period. Amazon, they benefited from the pandemic. Various governments across the world and institutions like the WHO all benefited because they were able to impose levies, take taxation, and control the population. Now, this next one, we could go for bird flu, but, you know, pandemic, it's so 2019. Probably what we're going to do is say it's getting too hot and the sea's gotten a little higher, so we're going to have to lock you in your home. Is that okay? Is anyone going to buy that?
And we need to get people to behave as if this really is a major transitional challenge to the whole planet, to everybody.
So I suppose you would need a kind of one world government to implement that, and I'm happy to be in it. Oh, Droopy, can I just be in charge of a whole planet?
People in Africa don't have electricity, need to choose the right kinds of electricity.
People in Africa, they are stupid. They keep choosing the wrong type of electricity. You've seen Lion King, right? There's Mustafa, there's that little meerkat guy, that's Billy Crystal, I think. He tries to use a bit of electricity, he's plugged it into his own butt.
And we need to help them be able to afford it and do it.
We gotta help Africans choose the right kind of electricity. Hakuna Matata, it's a crazy old game. Choose electricity that we can sanction and limit and lock you in your hut for. I said hut because you're in Africa. You live in huts, right? In Johannesburg?
We are the largest economy in the world, $24 trillion or $23 trillion economy.
Massive. There's so many zeros. I can't keep count of all these zeros. I can't keep count of these zeros. Sometimes I count zeros to fall asleep on my private jet with its reclining. It's not my private, it's my wife's private jet.
Maybe more by now.
I'd have gone up since I started talking.
The next closest is China at about 18 trillion. And the next closest to the two of us, Germany.
Germany. Remember those guys? Second World War. Who was that little fella? Dressed up like Chaplin. Had a thing to say or two. I never liked him.
And Japan at 4 trillion. That's how far it drops down.
It drops down faster than my own nose. It looks like a Nordic Viking helmet is being worn under my skin and then turning into a penis. That's for you, GXXG.
You don't think we have some sort of obligation out of that to be responsible? I think you do. But I'm just saying, But our country needs to talk about this, and we need to make it happen because we're paying huge sums of money to make up the difference.
Yeah. We're paying these sums of money to Africans because they don't know what electricity is over there. They can't tell what it is, those poor sons of bitches. Well, there you go. There's John Kerry in the Rumble chat. Kerry's wife is worth $750 million. They're all so loaded up, man, and totally rich. It's incredible, isn't it? I think the jig might be up, John Kerry. I'm sure he's probably nice if you knew him, if he was your granddad or something. Probably be all right, wouldn't it? If he's your granddad, he's a human being, isn't he, after all? So maybe we can just try and love him. He's a Vietnam veteran. There you go. That's good, isn't it? Like he fought in the Vietnam War. Okay, that's admirable. Listen, so there you go. John Kerry there, letting us know what to be scared of next. What I'm scared of is how John Kerry's going to travel now that he doesn't have access to his wife's private jet.
I do not fly on a private jet, possibly once.
But that's just what I think. Why don't you let me know what you think in the comments and the chat.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see more uncensored content where free speech can flourish, join our live stream. Click the link right here to watch the next video if you want to, or become a member of a growing movement. Download the Rumble app and you'll be informed every time we make a new piece of content. Stay free.